tell you a gun is a good thing. If someone offends you, blow their brains. It's an idea, and you've heard it. Some spirit now is gonna reinforce that idea that you had.
You are made angry.
He's making you angry. Blow his brains.
This is why music is so dangerous.
They have good intentions of what you're trying to say, but the way you
The way you just bringing it out, it's sounding mash.
Yeah.
But then you find that someone else will say the exact same thing, and everyone will be happy about it.
And the other two will be like, that's what I was trying to say.
For example, I was asking myself, what age will I be able to talk to him about sex and women?
Yeah. And how will I do
And
it?
what will I say to him?
Yeah, how will I convey the idea without...
Trust in your plans, trust in your process, trust in your plans, trust.
Welcome to that podcast with your favorite host, Jory Make, the Zim Dream Kid.
Pastor Wandile right here.
And you know what we about to do.
Yeah, you know what it is.
You know what it is. Welcome to another amazing episode.
Yeah.
And shout out to everybody doing the good stuff.
Well, thank you, fellas. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
We appreciate you.
You guys are really helping us build this community.
Yes, every day, brick by brick, building the community we want to build that is, all grafted in culture and faith.
Yeah.
And shout out to Bed by the Harbour. We're shooting here. This is a different angle today. We decided, let's just show them a different angle.
Give it a different feel to it. Maybe I'll flow more.
I'll flow more. But one day there's been like, bro, let's use the angle. I'm like, man. So today let's try it, and it's looking good. I like it actually.
I like it. The whole place is beautiful.
Yeah, we're gonna try to shoot as many angles as we can as time goes on with the episode, to show you that it's an amazing place. You should come and check it out.
So if you do want to sponsor us or support us by any means, even if you have your own business, you want to promote it, and you feel like you want to contribute, we open to advertising for you, and creating a collaboration with you. So because we're not only in the DMs, we're not only just looking for the money, which is answers all things, but like we also need support and collaboration, I think there's one
that's part of community also.
There's one you told me about, that one lady that does hair. What's the name of the
Sarah, Curls by Sarah. So
Curls by Sarah.
She's going to be helping us with the artists, the ladies that are going to be, part of the stages. She actually said, okay, she's going to collaborate with us. So if you see any artists that will be performing, especially the ladies, obviously, that have a hair done, there is a high chance, obviously, she's the one who has done it.
Yeah, she's going to do it. And anything we open, and we love you guys.
So we're open to that. So let's get into it. What are we vibing and talking about today? Okay,
so today our conversation is based on the art of communication. The art of communication. I feel like it's an art. It's
an art form.
Yeah, I feel like people think it's just you talking or something, because there's a way I would say something, and it will sound okay, but if you say it sounds differently. You get it. It sounds twisted. It sounds aggravating. Because communicating is an art.
Yes.
And communicating is basically just being able to convey a message across, letting somebody know something that you have in mind, sharing your thoughts, basically.
Definitely. Yeah, it's obviously conveying your idea to the other side, and making sure that they understand you what exactly you're trying to say or trying to communicate, or the idea you're trying to pitch. So it's actually an art form to actually communicate. I feel like the book of Proverbs has so many layers in terms of learning on how to actually communicate. Because you can see that it shows you in many ways, in different circumstances, on how to actually communicate. Like I don't know the scripture, but a scripture that says, that when you softly speak something, people get it. If I come to you fire with fire, we're gonna argue.
It's gonna create a burning what sensation.
If it even says if any matter causes a quarrel, then leave it. Because you're not gonna have a solution at the end of the day. What's gonna be communicated there is discord and quarrel. and anger, pride.
Yeah.
Beef. Beef.
And disses.
And diss-strongs. And because there was no communication of the idea. Hey, bro, what you saying?
And you know what? It's more important than we actually think, the fact of communication. Because now we have so many things that need to be communicated that aren't. You know, from the foundations, from our fathers, from our families, from the church. And now there's so many misunderstandings and misconceptions because of this communication issue. Because people
sometimes you can actually have good intentions of what you're trying to say, but the way you convey,
but the way you just bringing it out, it's sounding mash.
Yeah, and they'll be like, nah, bro. Yeah, because to some will be aggravated, some will be offended, some will be like, what's up with this guy?
What is he saying to us? But you find that someone else will say the exact same thing, and everybody will be happy about it.
And the other two will be like, that's what I was trying to say. But it's just the way you say it.
Yeah, and it's an art in the term of that you have to find the way to be able to express yourself.
And the words.
Okay, I think the words are also important.
No, because
the way,
both the two have to marry each other.
Yeah. The way and the words.
It's the words because there's what we call body language.
Yeah.
You know, you can say something and you can read someone.
You got that stiff like body.
You know that. Like I had a discussion with someone recently. And I could see they are very skeptical. I'm trying to convince them, but their body language is already telling me that you better. I get what you're saying, but I don't trust you.
I don't buy it. I
don't buy it. That's a communication. Body language is. We've been speaking body language since birth.
Gestures, like everything. You know, it has to align. It has to align, and that's why it's an art.
Body language, you can't lie. It takes a professional to actually do it.
Yeah.
That's why even FBI agents, when they're doing interrogation, when you lie, they're like,
they're watching your eyes, they're watching your body,
your eye moves somehow, you twitch someone like, he's capping.
Yeah, he's telling a lie. So it's an important art. And you know, I look at our generation now, and it's something we're actually missing. So to be able to communicate. I was worried at some point that me raising my son, you get, how will I be able to communicate with him? You get, and me knowing this and realizing this is part of the art, knowing that the times are not the same.
Yeah.
That the pressures are not the same. Yeah. The influences are not the same. So for you to be able to convey a message now is harder than it used to be before.
Yeah,
you get
definitely.
Children before used to be obedient. They used to be submissive. Now they've learned so much and been exposed to too much
quickly.
Yeah, and faster than
when we were, for example.
Yeah. For example, I was asking myself, what age will I be able to talk to him about sex and women?
Yeah, and how will I do it?
And what will I say to him?
Yeah, how will I convey the idea without intriguing but also warning?
Yeah, so make him aware that get ready and be like this and be like this. How will I get that across to him?
Yeah,
because I even look at myself, so at 15 years old, my parents thought I was still a kid. they thought this one is a baby forever. You get, I was still running in my without my shoes in the malls and whatnot at 15 years old, but
they don't know the exposure.
The way I was so exposed, like it was on another level.
It's the same thing with these two kids. Like sometimes you'd be thinking, like the last year when we did at the ETC, when we invited to talk about
that topic about relationships,
relationships, crushes, lust, and sex and everything.
Yeah.
Bro, the things we're hearing from these kids, you'd be like, snap, they are way more exposed than where we are at their age.
Yeah, and we keep blaming technology, but technology is not there just for that, but it's actually to help advance people's lives and make it easier to communicate and better and all that. It's just a matter of we finding the right methods and the right way to still instill the same discipline.
Back to the thing you said, back to the communication thing.
Yeah.
And with that, like what you're saying, when you're thinking about how you're going to communicate with your son, I mean, shout out to my favorite uncle, my adopted uncle, Tim Ross.
Yeah.
He was talking about how the voice, because the voice is the one that you hear, it's communication. That as you grow, the levels of communication change.
They change, and it needs to grow with you. So
the way you're communicating with Elton now is going to be different when he's like
12, 15.
12.
Yeah.
When he's around 18, when he's around 21.
Yeah.
So if you're still communicating at him at 12, at 21, you have a problem.
There's a problem there, sir. There's a very big problem. Because I think even we've had this discussion with one of the people we've come across in our lifetime that their voice is refusing to change with us, you know.
Yeah.
And to them, we still kids. You get, or we still unable to do certain things. But when you look at us, bro, like, damn, how old are you, bro?
I'm gone. And it's because maybe with this certain individual, we met at a certain age when we were super young.
Yeah, we're very young. We're very young.
So now we've grown into our own, you know, thinking and nature, and we've become, bro. You by that time you were like super young. You're a father. You were married.
Yeah. And you know what? This also puts a hindrance on my ability to be able to
listen to him.
Yeah. Because now even if they're giving me sound advice, I'm blocked at that because of the way they are communicating that advice, or the way they are expressing themselves. You get, so it already automatically sets me on fire to not listen to them. Yeah, and I'm like, no, I ain't taking that. Hold on. and only to find what they're saying is exactly what I need.
What you need.
Yeah.
And if they only can just switch the way of communication and upgrade their voice to your level. Everything changes.
And sometimes I like to make a reference at how like white people raise their children. And you look at like white kids, they seem mature faster than, you know, the average black kid. Because now the way they address the way they are taught things, the way they are exposed to information, the way their parents treat them, you know, they help them be able to make decisions quicker at a younger age. But for us, no, we got it.
Yeah. I think you were telling me of a story like you reached a certain age and then your father was like, "Bruh, I'd rather teach you drive than having
you steal my car."
That's communication.
It's true.
That's out of communication. When you really look at it, it's like, because if I keep telling this guy, don't touch my car, we're going to have a problem.
We have a problem because one time he was parking the car. I said, I want to wash it. And then I entered the car only to find it in the garden, bro.
So I was like, no, the best way to communicate is to teach him to drive him so that even if peradventure something
he disobeys my command, at least he knows how to make a solid
this
decision.
Guy won't kill himself.
Yeah. He's not going to take a car driving down the road and not come back with it.
Because if he says, no, don't drive my car, bet you go, you know yourself that you know, as a young guy, you're like, you want to experiment, I'm going to drive it.
I'm going to drive it. I'm going to test it.
But if you have given the opportunity to drive it here and there as a form of out of communication, you'll be like, I don't really need to. It's cool. My time is come. I know how to do it.
And we're not saying now teach your children prematurely, but there's a way you communicate this, and you know, like for example, if he made a promise to me and said, at the age of 18, I promise you, I will do a license for you. I wouldn't be under pressure to steal or to learn how to drive, you know, because now I'm looking at the promise that he has given me. There's so many other methods and tools. That's why even raising a child, there's no like specific way that this is the only way. This is how it's done, because now you look at the environment, you look at the mindsets of the child, you look at the influences, their interests, their surroundings, their friends,
so you can communicate,
so that you know how to address matters. You get
even with our faith, how we communicate. That's why we say engaging the culture. Usually our target market is the urban culture, because these are people that sit down on their phones on their YouTube
and they watch.
So even our lingo, how we because some people don't even understand that when they are watching our podcast, they're actually learning the Bible. We giving them we're just putting the meat in, you know, like a hamburger. The meat is in between. So you don't even know when you're like
we quoting it throughout, but without actually saying Proverbs 15 verse 7. I have a James 1 verse 5. No, exactly. But we still conveying the message in a way in a way that you can also chew on it,
and digest it and understand it.
So it's not too much for you.
Too much, or I don't what are they trying to say? That's the art of communication, because you understand, okay, I have a certain message, but how do I get it to you?
Without you closing up on us, or you feeling like we're judging you, which they always say Christians judge, just because we say stop drinking or stop womanizing. Now all of a sudden I'm judging. It's all a matter of communication. So. And that's faith is all about communicating, actually.
The whole gospel, even when you look at the whole gospel, God literally
is communicating,
gave us 60 books to communicate with us. Like literally the whole Bible is just a bunch of stories are compiled to one big story, but it's all in,
it's just a
communication.
Message. He's trying to get a message across that, hey, I did this for you guys, so live like this. And even now that's what we need most in this generation, communicators, people that are able to get the message across. You look at the most powerful ministers and powerful ministries now are people that are actually gifted in the art of communication. Sometimes it's not about being big on demonstration of the power of God and miracles and healings. It's just a matter of communication.
Because what's the point of you doing so many miracles and demonstrating power and people don't actually get the message? They don't
understand what you're trying to say.
Because it's all in vain. Actually, I think, to be honest to you,
that's where now they treat you like a hospital. They only come when they're sick, and they go where they will sit and listen. And you look at the late Dr. Miles Monroe. he was just a big communicator.
He's probably one of the most prominent communicators I know. He knew how to use language.
He was big, sir, on communication, and he would use PowerPoint presentations. And those are the kind of sermons we like. Boring. But like when you're listening to him, you're like, oh my goodness.
Like even up to now, the teaching that he did on media. Many years ago, I think it's even 20 years old, that teaching, if not more, about media. The first time I heard it, and when I heard the power, when he described and taught us the power of media, I was like, snap, we gotta go into media.
We gotta go into it.
That's where that base was one of the seeds that were dropped in my spirit to say, nah. I understood, he made me understood the power of media. Like literal, like even when he even used like scriptural references that, look, bro, there's gotta be an in between for the message to be conveyed, for the art of communication to be fulfilled. And imagine, this is a man of God who made me understand the art of communication in media.
Yeah, it's very important. And I also respect our father, Reverend Dr. Kingsley, so much. We love you, sir. And the way he
shout out to him.
The way he communicates to us and gets his message across, and probably this is why we've spent so many years with him.
And I like how I think people they don't have the kind of like advantage we've had.
To spend time
with him, like when he's not on the pulpit, when he's sitting down and he's teaching you. Like principles and wisdom, like bro,
not a formal service, but like a father-son
like
type of
communicating his ideas, and you can hear his vision, thoughts, his wisdom. Bro, look at it like this. Like one time he was like, you see me when I'm sitting down on my chair like this, before I make a move, I have thoroughly thought it top to bottom, side to side. So anytime I make a move, I hardly fail. Or I never fail because I have calculated. Okay, if this happens,
you think about it.
And that's actually scriptural, because how when the scripture says before you go to war, you have to calculate. Do I need to go to war, or do I need to make a peace treaty with this guy? Because if I go to war, I might die.
You might die. Even when you're building a house, you calculate the cost so that you're not mocked at the end.
But rather, if maybe for example, I can make a peace treaty with him and survive and save my kingdom,
save the kingdom, and live to fight another day. Yeah.
Rather, and that was what he was actually communicating, but I got it like that later on in script. That was scripture.
This is what he is talking about.
And then obviously I took that and I applied it, and that was the art of communication, literally.
And those that don't even know him personally, they know this. Like when you're talking to him, you learn so much.
I mean, he's the grandmaster of counsel. Like,
everybody knows that. Yeah. Hands down. Hands down. Counseling is his forte, and
he's like this.
It's like his strong power.
And that here is communicating wisdom to you.
It can direct you, like, you know, and even when you're confused, you come out clear, like, okay, now I know exactly what I need to do. Yeah. So it's all about communicating, and that's what we need in this generation now. Even yourself, you know, don't be like, I know me, I'm just a straight up person, I talk truth.
No,
we be happy that you are like that, but find an art of it.
Because you need communication. Like one of the most prominent people that we now know is Vusi. He's one of the prominent communicators of our generation. The guy knows how to communicate, and he's teaching us. You need to know how to communicate in business, in your family, at school, at work, in your, you know, as a father.
Talking about verses, there's something he said, and I heard one guy quote him. He said that sometimes it's a good thing to be lazy. I was like, no. No, that's not right.
That's not right.
But the way he just communicates the idea, it makes sense. Yeah. Like when you're lazy, you get better ideas. You find easier ways to do this. I'm like, no, that doesn't sound right.
But when you look at it, it's like, that's just the truth. Because the lazy people have a funny way of coming up with the most
quick ideas.
Yes, because they don't want to, you know, do the long work. They're like, nah,
no, sir. That's not it. That's not what we're trying to get people to do.
But he's a good communicator.
Yeah, he's very good at communication. And that's why even when he's saying something that is like offish, you're like, yeah, he's kind of right. He's got a point.
Yeah, he's got a point. So you never know if it's like, "Hi, bro," but because he knows how to communicate his ideas.
To communicate.
Because I mean, at work, you're gonna be with people. You're gonna have to learn to negotiate. It takes communication. You have a business plan or something. So you're like, I have a business idea.
This is what I want to do.
This is what I'm trying to do. You might have like $1 billion idea, but if you have 10 investors in front of you, if you don't communicate it, you're not cracking a deal.
No one is investing, sir. No one is investing because we don't know how to communicate.
Yeah.
Even in marriage, you know, I think I heard relationships said the most common reason why marriages fail and divorce is so high is because of miscommunication.
And it's rooted in what they call what was that term that there was a unexpected
unexpected I wrote that. Jerem, why would you remind me something that we both can't remember? See, it's unexpected something like when
unexpected needs or wants, unexpected
desires. I can't remember the exact words you used, but like uncommunicated desires or expectations. Uncommunicated expectations. That's the common cause of marriages failing and divorce being so high, you know. And you look at everything else, it's the same, you know. In a business, if you can't communicate, or in your job you can't communicate, they don't see you fit to lead or
like
to
when
be
you're
promoted.
saying that, obviously in a marriage when there's an uncommunicated and expectations, like that means the only simple thing that is that you had an expectation, right? Or I had an expectation. You had an expectation for your wife, and you guys are quarreling. But at the root, you just didn't. Oh, I needed this. You needed this, and now we're fighting over what? Over something that was not actually communicated.
Yeah. That both of us are now, because I'm fighting defending myself, you fighting defending yourself. But both of us, it's just a simple thing. Say, I want this, A, B, C.
Then when you ask you, did you ask me? I expected you to know. I'm not a psychic.
I'm not ready to fail. So communicate effectively with your families, you know. Even now we see people, there's a guy that said he wanted to get married and he loves this girl with all his heart and whatever. I'm like, okay, that's a really great thing. You know, you're in the right track. But have you told your family yet? And he's like, no, I don't know how they're gonna react. So wait, what are you waiting for? You love this girl, you're ready to marry her, right?
Yeah.
The best thing you could do for yourself is to let your family know, let people know.
What's up.
And the worst that could happen is for them to maybe bring up some case that can hinder this. But at the end of the day, it's something that must be done. Communicate that you want to get married. It's not a good thing, you know, for you to be chopping and wiping. eating someone's daughter. You're Boko Haram, as Daddy will say. You're Boko Haram. You're a kidnapper.
You're kidnapping someone.
You know, communicate your expectations with your family. Let them, even that's why sometimes I feel like people are still see you as a child or young or in able to do some things
because you don't open your mouth.
Communicate. They don't understand you, so they're not willing to invest in you or trust you or give you the room you need.
Because it's what, like how our father used to say, a closed mouth is a closed.
It's a closed destiny. Sir. It's a closed destiny,
and it's true because when you say when you don't open your mouth, there was one time the guys were having a quarrel, and then. Who's this? Your father-in-law was addressing us. He sat us down as guys and he said that. And then we started opening our mouth and he was like shocked. He was like, I didn't know some of you are this mature. Because for the first time, he looked at us but now he's hearing that, no, these guys are actually speaking sense.
They're speaking sound wisdom.
Because we had opened and communicated our frustrations in a more mature way. No, it's like this, it's like this.
It's ABC. The reason why we're fighting is A and A and A, So it's all about communicating, sir. It's all about communicating. Even when somebody does something you don't like, don't bottle it in and try and
gather anger. And hate.
No, don't get anger. And number two, don't be too hasty to like I want to deal with it now. No, deal with it the right way. Sorry, brother. Please, I just want to share something with you.
Come aside. Can we just?
The A, B, and C happened, and I didn't appreciate that.
Yes.
It didn't sit well with me, and I don't mean to offend you by telling you this, but please, going forward, can we do like this or deal like this? And if the person knows how to communicate, also they're gonna communicate. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you. What I was trying to say is A, B, and C. You get?
And prevention, they don't understand, and it's becoming heated. You can bring a third party.
Third person.
You believe both of you can be an equalizer.
And it has to be a wise third person.
Yes.
I think we've said this once before in one of our old podcasts that anytime you're bringing in a third person, don't just bring in a friend or bring in someone that will support your case. Bring in a wise third person. Somebody that is sound in knowledge, in word, in wisdom, in someone that's got counsel, in fact, and in most cases, I prefer a pastor because they're very neutral. They're very neutral and
a true good pastor will be mutual. Won't be like trying to take sides of this side or this side. And prevention, after that, then you can be like, yo, bro, I tried. Because that's what you are required to do. If you bring in and we're talking like, yo, can we talk? Then if they don't, you bring a third, and if they don't, at that point in time, you realize this person is just stubborn. It's okay to let go and say, I at least I tried communicating with this certain individual or this certain person, but we just can't get to a place where we're of agreement. And it's fine. And it's fine to actually be like that. Don't be like, you now be like, I spoke with this guy. I brought so and so. This guy is. No, it's fine to leave it at this because you tried your best. So let it go. It's cool. But don't be like, now take it too hard and say no. But this guy is being hard. That's why, because you tried your actual best to actually communicate your idea.
And there's a verse I saw, sir. Is it Matthew or something, where it says that if you are at fault or have a fault with your adversary, settle the matter before he hands you over to the officer. Who will hand you over to the judge. You get? And so what basically that means that iron your things out between the two of you. Communicate. And it doesn't, because where I'm going is that I saw a guy who smashed a car. And when he smashed the car, he said, no, you were wrong, and I didn't do anything, and what. And this guy said, all I'm asking you to do is just fix this dent, and
game over.
We settled, and it would have cost him like 1,000 to fix the dent or 2,000. So the guy was like, no, you were wrong, and what. I started defending him. So they brought out the footage. The guy opened the case, and I think it cost him like 25,000. That he had to pay for the cost of the car, the damages. And I was like, 1,000 compared to 25. You should have settled the matter then and there before the guy handed you over to the judge and officers and opened the case. It was something so simple and so small that you decided that you wanted to play big man and not communicate effectively.
So many big court cases that have ended up in like financial like settlements. If you really go to the root of it, like what you're saying, you could have paid less.
Yeah.
If you communicated, okay, bro,
because the guy, all he said is that I just want you to fix this tent. That's all.
Game over.
That's all. I'm not gonna even call out my insurance or anything like that. So now when you call the insurance obviously charges more than a normal guy working on the streets. They pulled out the whole door and what and they charge him 25K
because they're also trying to make money out of it. So they're gonna upscale it. Obviously,
they're making money. So it's all about communicate effectively.
And another way that I've learned from my adopted uncle was like, if there's something heavy you're trying to communicate, the best way you can do it is by approaching the certain individual, and then you're like, hey, Pastor Wa, I don't know if you have time, sir, but there's something that I want to talk about, and this thing needs us to sit down. And you actually listen. And I cannot say this like this. It needs you to actually listen because it's something that's heavy. So already the person knows
he's prepared for
there's a heavy matter that's coming. Then just coming from the blue and like,
boof, hey! Start shooting fire.
Before you know it, because this person is going to erupt because you don't know. But if you prepared them already to say, oh, what I'm about to say is this.
It's heavy. But
it's heavy.
I need to say it.
I need you to say it. So they'll be like, already there's like a kind of like a safe space opened for you to receive it regardless. That's art of communication. And you have certain people like, they have a heavy matter they want to deliver to you. They'll just come and
just drop it on you.
And next thing you know, the space is now something else.
It's tension and stuff like that.
But if you know how to, communicate, they say it's like this. The person already knows. Something heavy. So when they hear it, they're like, okay, it's heavy, but I expected it because you told me that something heavy is coming.
Yeah. So I think the moral of the story is that. Don't just expect people to know. Communicate it. And even our father, sometimes he will repeat things so many times that it's even hard for you to forget. Like for example, when I usually watch at the reception, and when I'm sitting there, when he comes down, did you lock the gates? Did you lock the door? You get? So even when I'm seeing him come down, I'm already like, the door is locked, the gates is locked, because I already know what he expects.
So he's communicating the vision.
He's communicating what he needs to be done and how things need to be done. And even sometimes I'm coordinator, so I help out with running the church program. He communicates this. Okay, don't do this. No, let's not do that today. Let's do this. This is what I need in the program. This is how the program is gonna run. There's a child dedication. You get, so everything is there and it's open. It's communicated. That's why sometimes you see the services run so smoothly. You get, because now everything is communicated effectively.
You be like, imagine it. There's child dedication. Everybody's shocked.
So it's important. The communication.
It's an example today. For example, because you are in the middle of trying to communicate everything. Because I'm in the media. So when it's time for child dedication, you'll be like, yo, Chirim, we have a child dedication after this way.
The choir has to know.
So we have to set up ourselves in a certain angle for the cameras and everything. Because you don't be like, child dedication, everybody starts freaking
out. Everybody's ready for it and everybody's aware. The choir has to sing, the media has to record,
and do whatever.
The people that are following, the parents that are coming to dedicate, they have to be ready. It's like an entire thing going on that has to be communicated effectively. And it's just a matter of like
disaster is actually prevented in chaos because it was actually properly communicated. I think in one of our podcasts we talked about that thing. You were saying that our Father always repeats. If you have a certain vision that you have and you want to get it down to, let's say, the generation down, like the younger people, you have to keep on
saying it, sir. Keep saying it.
For example, our tagline, engage the culture. We have to keep on saying it
so that you understand it and it sinks into you. You get, and sometimes we say it even ourselves subconsciously because that's our vision.
That's our vision.
Sometimes I'll be trying to say something else, and before you know it, engage the culture comes because that's what we're trying to do. That's what we're trying to build. That's the idea behind the podcast. That's the idea behind the music, the Living Water collections,
everything.
And that's the idea behind the air. You know, building a culture, engaging the culture, getting people involved. We're getting people know about Christ. So if you do have a vision, and this is even for those that like are business
organizations, family
leaders, or CEOs or owners, and
father, mother.
Keep communicating the vision. Keep letting them know the vision. Keep saying it over and over again. Let it be when you say it, there's that thing you said, then they know that
until they start rolling their eyes, he's going to say
again,
engage the culture.
As long as it's the vision, let them roll their eyes. It's important for it to sink in. Like, for example, there are things my granny said. This is 2012, 2013 or 2011, around that time. I still remember them because she repeated it the entire year, sir. Every day we gather, she says it. Every time she sees my face, she says it.
And even in like big businesses like Coca-Cola, they understand this and
repetition.
So they keep repeating to you
the same adverts, the same over.
They will change maybe, but the messaging is the same.
Color is the same.
So they repeat it over and over. You have no choice to pick their product when you enter a shop because they've layered it in you.
It's so repeated.
It's now in your subconscious.
I heard somebody say, Sprite quenches my thirst. I'm like, that's the slogan. That's the slogan. It's not true. That's what they keep telling you. It quenches my thirst.
Yeah. Because now it's in your, because they're trying to hit that subconscious level. And how you do that, you have to repeat. Even Miles Maron was, when he was talking about the media thing, he said that repetition is dangerous when it's the wrong thing. Because now it's going to go into the subconscious.
It stays.
And now when you operate from the subconscious, you don't know when you're doing it. Some people just walk in the shop and they buy certain product. They don't know that they've been programmed.
It's planted in them.
You don't even know, like there's like 10 products on this shelf. Why that one particular?
Why specifically this one? Why is this one the best?
And you ask them, I just like it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Some people, when you ask them, they don't know.
This is what I grew up using. And you know what? Even so, it's important even for our children, like and for the generation, and even yourself. The eye gates, the ear gates, protect them by all means.
Yes.
Because whatever keeps entering,
being communicated.
Oh my goodness!
Those are ideas.
You won't know when you start doing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Because it's been communicated so much into your eye gates and ear gates, into your heart. Yeah. And now it breaks all resistance and ability to stand and to say no to something because they've spoken of so much. Like, for example, dating now, the way people date, it's not longer like before. I thought dating was just standing with a girl in a corner, but dating now, so
there's layers.
It's a whole nother level.
There's situation.
It's a whole nother level. Yeah.
There's relationships.
So because they communicate this so much, they communicate it so much. They keep saying it. Before you know it, everybody believes it.
Yeah.
Everybody believes now. You if you haven't slept with her, it's then she's not yours, or you can't get married to who you haven't.
And you know why you're saying that? Because protecting the ear and the eye, because what's being communicated, like how Dr. Miles, you say that it's an idea, right? They're communicating ideas.
An idea, yes.
And ideas don't die. That's the problem.
I remember that.
Because if they tell you a gun is a good thing, if someone offends you, blow their brains. It's an idea. And you've heard it. Some spirit now is going to reinforce that idea that you had.
You are made angry
he's making you angry. Blow his brains.
This is why music is so dangerous.
Before you know it,
music is so dangerous. Yeah.
Because the idea was reinforced.
Yeah.
Because an idea doesn't die.
Yeah.
That's why you can have what you're saying, Boko Haram. They can be on Boko Haram now, 20 years down there, they're still there because it's an idea.
It's an idea that was sold to someone who believed it, who kept listening to it.
Yeah.
And you look at even these suicide bombers. You know, it's an idea that's been sold to them so many times that they start to believe it. That if I kill myself, it's for a good cause. If I die, I'm dying to go to a better place.
You're supposed to sleep with so many girls to get experience. It's an idea.
It's an idea, sir. It's an idea. It's an idea. You don't
gotta test it before you. It's an idea.
It's an idea. Somebody's told you this.
And these ideas are always seen in cartoons, in movies. Like, oh, it's actually fine to do that. You can break up, and then she can go and get another dude, blah blah blah. Then you go and get another girl. Then later this
dating the same girl, friendships with what. All of these are communicated ideas, sir.
So that's why you were saying it's very important. I just wanted to reinforce that idea. I was saying you have why you protect the ear and the eye gate, because these are ideas being poured into you, and you need to understand these ideas. Most of them, especially creative ideas, have a spiritual influence, whether you like it or not, good or bad.
As much as we may shy away from it, everything has a spiritual influence. There's no neutral. There's no neutral. Something is influencing you to say. Something's influencing you. I think the scripture would be, a man's ways are not in himself. Something is leading you to say it like that, to talk like that, to think like that, to believe that you can have 5 women and date them all. Something is pushing you to think like that. It's not normal.
It's not normal.
It's not normal, because that's not how originally things were designed.
Yes.
You get, and even when you are a believer, something is making you talk right and say the right things. It's not because you have so much willpower and you're so smart and intelligent. No, something is helping you
to influence your decisions.
Something's influencing your decisions and the way you live your life.
Yeah, and I also want to say, in terms of, because you might be asking, so you guys are talking about art of communication. How do I learn communication? There are many different ways to learn how to communicate. One of them would be as simple. I hate to actually use this term that they use. They say that if you want to hide anything from a black man, put it in a book. It's a shame that we have to say that, even as a black guy, because it's true.
Yeah,
there are actually books that teach you on how to communicate.
And even, reading a book helps your communication and helps you understand. And also not just any book. Don't go get an exotic what book and think you're gonna.
That's what I even say, that they are literal, like you're saying that I'm bad at communication.
Yeah.
Bro, go and take a lot. Go on Amazon. And search or Google the 10 best books that talk about. This is how you now use technology. Sit down, Google 10 best books for how to learn communication. You Google them. You go to Amazon, take a lot, you buy them, or you go to your nearest bookshop, you buy the book or download the book or search for the book, sit down, read the book, take points. You'll be surprised. You get 10 times better.
Yeah, you are.
Because you're being intentional about learning how to communicate. Another way,
you can go.
Another way is simply reading a proverb a day. Trust me.
Okay, or Proverbs. I was about to say it's really, sometimes even reading the Bible helps you with learning how to communicate.
No, but I'm just going Proverbs specifically because it does talk a lot about that.
And also, like, it's a father and a mother conveying instructions to their son. And I get that part.
Yeah, because it has a lot to do about because it teaches you how to communicate in many instances. Because there's how you're supposed to communicate your ideas. If you're angry or if you're sad, if you are what. I like how Proverbs gives you so many different circumstances of communicating.
Yeah.
Like that one of soft spoken. From I learned it from thingy. That, it's like a trick. If I lean on you like this, let me just bring them. If I lean and then I say, Pastor, you are gonna also lean forward because you also want to hear, and then I communicate. But if I did the same thing, I'd be like, hey, wow, there's how you would take this message, nigga. You get it?
Sorry about that.
You get it?
Yeah.
And that's you'll be like your reaction. You'll be like, oh.
Hold up.
So, but if you say, it's actually good. And there's how some, is it the 48 powers of law? They say that sometimes they can actually communicate something dangerous in a soft way.
Yeah.
You'd be like, bro, if you touch my daughter out. The body language, the emphasis on it, you be like, yay.
It's even scarier than somebody will be shouting.
Yeah. So if you like, hey, don't stay away from my sister. Hey, it's a different when you approach the guy like, my guy, if you mess around with my sister, me, I will.
Hey.
he himself be like, hey. dead. But if you're shouting at him, be like, leave that guy alone. I'm still, in fact, I'm going to do what I want to do. So communication is very important. Yeah. So that's one of the like 2 tips I have in the top of my head right now, just to help you in the.
And from my side, I'll say communicate in love. Communicate in love. Everything. Try your uttermost best to communicate and convey your messages in love.
Yeah.
And try use soft words. I think I like this proverb you're talking about now. You know, if a matter is addressed softly, it gives it an opportunity to be understood and listened to. Communicate softly. I'm not saying now talk like this. No, but like, be soft in your communication, in your gestures, your words in your approach, in your body language, even if it's something that makes you angry, try be soft about it.
I think that I'll just add to this. There's a scripture that says, let your words be full of grace.
Let your words be full of grace. It's important. And especially even as a leader, if you're somebody that's leading people, communicate effectively.
And sometimes it might not be words. It might be words. Because we were talking about that at the time. You're like, I'm trying to teach this person how to communicate. Let me use the AI to turn their speech to be more
polite, to
kind
be more
polite,
generous. Because the way they'll be so straightforward. You must do this, and you must do that. And I'm like, no, put it in AI, and AI would teach you how to be more polite.
It will have a more receptive.
So
approach to it. And actually, there was an incident that happened. There's a certain individual. We were trying to do something, and there's a certain situation that happened. Because I won't go into details because they might watch the show. And there's how this situation happened, and we were talking nicely, but I was picking certain things. I was like, picking certain things. There's a certain incident happened, and there's how the message came to me. They sent a certain message. I was like, whoa. From the message, the way they communicated, I was like, nah, I'll have a problem in the future with this person. Then I was like, from there, I just said,
no, sorry,
I can't. Because I saw that from there. So this is the art of communication. So sometimes you think you're just typing a message, but you're actually exposing your nature.
You're putting yourself out there in the wrong way, in fact. So it's important. It's important for me and for anyone. Just communicate effectively to your wives, to your children, and also don't. I think the scripture says, young ones submit to the elders, and elders don't offend the young ones, because now it's all part of communicating.
Don't provoke them.
Don't provoke the young. Communicate effectively. Even if you want to tell them to do something, and you wanna, sit them down. There's this art I've learned that sometimes you don't need to shout. So it's not everything you shout for. Sometimes you have to understand what the person is going through, what they're feeling, and what they're thinking. So I think I don't know. Is there anything else to add to this?
I think really we say much in that. Like what you're saying is just sometimes you don't have to just sit down and talk with the person.
Talk.
Learn how to sit down and actually talk, whether young or
try
old.
Understand them. Be slow to speak and quick to listen.
I think a friend was telling me that he was sitting with their baby brother, cousin or something. He said that for the first time I was sitting there, are you angry? I'm angry because they were trying to go. He said, so he got to the middle that he was angry because this person didn't want to share what they were having. But he said, okay, no, don't be angry. Don't cause a scene here and start causing a tantrum. Let's talk about it. They spoke about it and realized we came to a conclusion. So it's simple. Sit down and talk sometimes.
Communicate.
So that's that. On that tangent, I think we can. I don't know. You still have more side in the bag.
Let's leave it for the next.
Let's leave it for the next one.
So Shout out to everybody.
Shout out to everybody. Shooting here, right here.
Back by the Harbour.
Back by the Harbour as usual. And obviously, if you still want the air match, it's available. Drop us a DM,
Caps,
get a cap, get a hoodie, whatever that you want, so that we can get it to you. And and also don't forget to do the good stuff.
Please.
There's actually an episode 90% of the people didn't subscribe. Come on, guys. If you're vibing with this, if you're liking it, why don't you just
click the
show some appreciation? Show some love, man. Show some love.
And please,
and like, share, and
please comment. Please comment.
We like to hear your thoughts.
We happy when we see comments mostly, because that shows that people are actually engaging with us, and they're following us, and they, and if you have suggestions, put them there. Put them there. Put it
Tell
in the
us that
DM.
Let's talk about this. I want to hear about this. Can you bring someone like this?
What's your guys' thoughts on this topic? I have a friend who
you can even oppose us if you feel like you want. We want to hear that. Oh, maybe
I'm not ready for opposition.
No,
but
actually,
it is.
Do you remember that
it's
episode
good.
about friends with benefits? It was divided. Even in the comment section, some people I was like, nah. And so you're like, yes. But someone was like, no, I agree with Pastor Wandile. I disagree with Jordan because we want to see how we can communicate ideas.
And build the culture.
Or prevention, you want to add something to whatever we said, that would be dope.
Feel free.
So shout out to you that are already commenting and sharing and liking. You guys are doing the best.
Yeah.
If you're watching for the first time, welcome to the club. Welcome to the community. Engage the culture. It's that base with your favorite host, Jerry McKay, the Zimdrin Kid.
And Pastor Wandile right here.
And we out.
See you, fellas.
Trust in your plans. Trust in your process. Trust in your plans. Trust.